Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New View podcast. My name is Mac.
And my name is Megan.
Come along with us as we dive into the world of competitive Irish dancing and beyond.
Sharing perspectives, developing community, and learning from each other.
We hope you enjoy.
We are so excited to be speaking with today's guest all the way from Western Australia, the amazingly talented Vaughan Cooper today on New View. So Vaughan is not only an amazing dancer as a world champion, All-Ireland champion, national champion, and regional champion, and just back from touring as a professional dancer, he is also one of the most friendly faces you'll see around the Fash. Vaughan's kindness and joy for connection and dancing are not only evident through his support of other dancers in the dance world, it also comes across on stage in his dancing. Vaughan, you have something so special, and we're just so excited to uncover what that special something is. And I think I can really speak for everyone in dancing when I say it is so clear that you just love dancing. So, with
No.
that in mind, can you tell us how you got started in dancing, kind of like what it was like getting going in this journey and up to where you are now, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, so I started when I was 8 at the WA Academy of Irish Dancing in Perth, and since then it was really hard being in WA with not as many feshes, being WA so far from Sydney, Melbourne, and all that. So it was hard growing up without a lot of feshes, and having like Dara McAleer and Dakota Courtney as people to look up to in WA was so helpful for me to be the dancer I am today, having that globe background of dancers. So it was definitely hard during COVID as well because our borders were closed for about 6 months, so no one could get in or out. So it was a bit hard with COVID, and every time we had a COVID case, everyone would be locked indoors. But like, it was annoying as well when in COVID, dancing wasn't allowed to go back, but outdoor sports were going back. And it was a bit hard for me going through high school and, manhood and everything. So it was a bit hard having all my mates doing soccer, football, and all that. And I'm like, oh, I'm still not be able to dance, but we're here now. And yeah, I'm loving it.
You've had such incredible success, and it's like fair enough. I think all definitely felt challenged during COVID, but that sounds especially challenging.
Yeah.
Um, were you ever like tempted to start other sports during COVID because you're like, oh, well, they're allowed to go back, or were you like, no, I'm committed to dancing?
I was committed to dancing, but I started ballet in 2021. So I nearly went to ballet full time. I haven't really told anyone that, but yeah, I was very close to stopping Irish dancing completely because I was like, this is not worth it. Anyway, so I'm here now. I've done ballet. I've done my ballet years, and I'm very grateful for the teachers there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's cool. Well, I think that's a really good example of, I think lots of people have been in that spot where like you just can't really see the finish line and you can't see it. You maybe have aspirations, but you're just so in the middle of whatever it is. And you're like, I may as well just stop now. But it's
yeah,
a good example of like, no, just keep going because if you just keep persevering, then maybe someday it really will all come true. And you're an
yeah.
example of that. You were just speaking about being in WA, and that was isolating like within Australia, and then particularly isolating during COVID. But can you talk a little bit about like how have you built connections in the dancing community being from Australia? Like, was that more challenging when you were younger? And like, how has your community developed over the years?
It was hard, especially COVID. After COVID, everyone stopped because no one was going to class and everything. And but we used to workshop with Gresham Academy in Ireland from 2017 to 18, and then from 2019 to now, we've been workshopping with McNeil's Cunningham, and that's kind of the connection that we have with Ireland and WA. And it's good that like the nationals have been going back because my teachers are fairly new into the teaching industry, let's just say, and they've made like good friends in Australia. Like it's good to get our dancers, our young ones especially, because they're amazing, get their names known in the Australian Irish dancing community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been such incredible talent to come out of Australia. And I think probably Megan and I, to some extent, can both relate to that feeling of
Yeah,
being very inspired and very motivated, and loving Irish dancing, but feeling a little bit removed from sort of like the hot spots of Irish dancing. Like I can definitely relate and I know Megan can too, in the sense of like from Western Canada, especially when I was younger. And I'm older than both of you. So when I was younger, there was no like Instagram really. Like all I
yeah,
had was YouTube to sort of see what was going on in the UK and Ireland. And it definitely was a challenge. I don't know what it was like for you, but getting to go over to those majors those few times a year, I found myself, I was really quite shy and like awestruck, and I wasn't super fast all the time to just start up a conversation, but I think maybe that's a little bit different for you. Like, can you?
yeah, it is a bit. I can't. I have to talk. It's weird, but every time I meet someone like, so the All Irelands 2023 was my first international major. So I've never done anything beforehand, and
Why?
I just remember going to the All Irelands, and I was like, oh my gosh, you got like Mackenzie Marler, Megan Stewart, like you got those big names, and I was just like, you see those people on Instagram, and I'm looking at them right now, but especially like I remember I walked into the venue and I was watching Rose McDowell doing her slip cheek, and I was like, oh my gosh, I see this girl on Instagram. I've been following this girl since 2017, I think. And I was like, I get to watch her live. Like that is it's just such a surreal moment to be in. Yeah.
Totally.
Wow, that's really cool. And I think it just kind of puts in perspective how lucky we are to be able to do this, you know. Some people are lucky enough to live in Ireland and have
Yeah.
like that dancing hotspot and so many people, but it really offers a great perspective to be like, wow,
Yeah.
we're quite lucky to have this community and see all of these amazing people.
Yeah.
Just as you were talking, I was wondering like how, when you were growing up and dancing, especially as a younger dancer, were you in the studio like dreaming of, oh, I want to win the world, or were you just kind of like dancing for fun? What was that like, having not been to like those international competitions till maybe a little later in your dancing?
Yeah. So 2022, I was graduating high school. So and I had like my ball, like my prom, let's just say. And that would have been my first worlds. But I was like, do I choose my prom or the worlds? And I was like, you know what? There's going to be another worlds. Hopefully, if there was no COVID. But I was like, yeah, I'll do the prom and I will do the worlds later. So I'm gutted I missed out on that one because that would have been a good one to do the 50th anniversary. Um, but then I was definitely shocked to get third at my first worlds. But I couldn't believe it. And then to get second at my internet, like the first international major, I was just like, what is going on? I just could not believe it. You wouldn't expect someone like me to be so far away from everyone else in the world and to become a world champion and to be the very first West Australian is just really surreal. Like it's so weird to say that, but I guess we're here.
Yeah, well, here you are. Can we kind of dive into that a little bit more, because I think this is such an interesting topic. Because I do think and it's not a bad thing, but in general, there are perceptions of like how you become a champion, and I think we do all so much value being around and exposed to a great standard of dancing, and I think there is something to that. And of course, like you were exposed to good standards of dancing, like there was great dancing around you, but maybe you weren't immersed in it as much. And I'm just curious, like and maybe you don't know, but what what do you think it was that allowed you to kind of come onto the scene and just be at the top right from the start?
Instagram definitely helped. Social media, like what you said before, you only had YouTube, but Instagram and TikTok and everything was so helpful. So I used to send my dancing videos to Irish Dancing magazine, and I used to say, "Oh, I would love to have like a feature," and they posted my reel from the nationals, I think. But yeah, it was just so like, oh my gosh, like, yay, I'm featured, and like, it's pretty cool. It's hard. to be from Australia because there's so much talent, honestly. This
Mhm.
like just at the nationals, I'm just watching these young ones. Like it's gonna be their first worlds this year. I'm like, you are so amazing. It's just insane. And like, yeah, the level of Irish dancing in Australia is just because I'm looking at these young ones and I was like, I was never like that at your age.
Yeah,
I
well,
think too,
go ahead, Megan.
there's like a really strong artistry to it when I watch Australian Irish dancing. It
Yeah,
looks like
yeah,
its own unique art. And I think Irish dance is its own unique thing, but you all tend to, generally speaking, especially like highly trained dancers like
yeah,
yourself, look so effortless. There's like
yeah.
something unique
It's
about it.
so
I don't
weird.
know, but is there something in particular that you were like, okay, I've noticed this on dancers when I was like watching Instagram videos, or I gained this through my ballet training, or my teachers drilled this into me that
Yeah,
that you have this like just unique kind of effortless style.
yeah. So it was hard being in Australia because I didn't have any. I did have some boys in my class, but to treble and to make good sounds, it was so hard for me. I was always a sausage dancer, but I could never. I could treble, but it was just not perfect for me. It was still good, but it wasn't like you could tell the difference between the first round and the second round. So it like definitely going to Ireland helped drill that because they're crazy over there, like they're all ninjas, let's just say. But ballet definitely helped. I remember during COVID, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my splits, and I got them. I got them a month later because I was like, I'm gonna get them. I was so determined, and yeah, ever since then, something happened to my hip, and it just it just goes up.
That's definitely a trademark thing for you, I think. It's safe
Yeah.
to say that the kicks are a trademark of Vaughan Cooper. Um, That's well, that's awesome though that you were sort of able to play to your strengths, but then also go, this is a weakness, and if I'm going to succeed in the way I want to, I need to address this, and that's pretty cool that you were able to sort of, I guess, pinpoint that and then really work on it. And clearly, you are determined, and when you decide you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So that's that's pretty
Thanks.
awesome. Um, yeah, I think just sorry, looping back just
It's
quickly
okay.
to one last topic. I think it's I love that the idea of you look back at all these younger age groups and you go, oh my gosh, I was never as good as you were back then. And I have to fully admit that there was definitely a period of time in my career where I would look back and I would just feel like they're all like chasing my heels and I have to get better. And there's like a jealous component and a
Yeah, yeah,
whole thing. And I've kind of come around now, and I'm curious both of your thoughts on this is like I've kind of come around now to going, oh, that means I did my job and this whole thing is going in the direction it's meant to go. Like that's
yeah,
the correct order of things. Is the generations coming behind should be better than you ever were at that age, right? Like
yeah,
that's I think that means like we're all winning kind of
yeah.
and I'm curious like how you guys feel about that.
I don't know. It was weird, like being at the All Islands. No one knew me. It was so good because no one knew me. I was like an outsider. I remember at side stage, and none of the boys they did talk to me, but I can't talk to people before I go on because it just I need to be in the zone. So like they were trying to talk, and I was like, yeah, like they're probably like this Australian guy is so weird, but like I definitely found it was weird because no one knew who I was. So everyone was talking when I was dancing. And now, and anytime I'm on stage, the whole hall is like watching now. It's funny. It's just weird to me. Like when you're not known, no one cares. But when you're someone in the Irish dancing world, everyone's like, oh, let's watch.
Yeah.
Like, especially when I'm watching, like when I watched Megan at the All Islands this year, it was just like dead silent. Like no one could hear no one. Like,
Yeah. My teacher always calls that you like you won the room.
yes.
You didn't
Yeah.
maybe like whatever happens in the fesh, whether you win the fesh,
Yeah.
but when the room goes silent when you're doing your set,
I find that more,
whatever.
yeah, that and like when people like definitely the worlds this year was a bit hard getting that result, but you know what? I don't dance for results. I dance because I love it. And what meant more to me was everyone came up to me and they were like, "You were unreal," and I was like, "You know what? That actually means so much more." So that was definitely a positive feedback from that worlds. Yeah,
Totally. And people remember how you made them feel more
yeah,
than like the stats, like
yeah. That's
on
it.
that you're or not, you know? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And I think that kind of then creates the inspiration for the next generation. Like Mac just said, like that's what people remember. They remember the performance or how quiet the room was when you were
yeah,
on and all of that. Like, yes, maybe they remember that you're a world champion, but not every single result.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
Yeah,
pretty much just the highs they
yeah,
remember
yeah,
in there. But it's those moments of like, wow, he was someone who made a difference in our dancing community and like really sparked change. And now I'm sure you're watching these kids totally silent, like
yeah, yeah,
jaw dropping
yeah,
because they're doing the same. And then the next kids will come and do the same. And I think that means that you've really led by a very strong example. So that's
yeah, yeah. And
awesome.
like, there's another example, like Dana Pham in our age group, how she got fourth at the Worlds. She hasn't done a World since 2017. And then I remember at the Nationals, I said to her mum, I was like, "You watch, she'll get a globe." And I was all right. I was like, because I think she's honestly incredible. And like Sinead Daly as well, like having those girls in my own age group to grow up with. And they were amazing. Like they're still amazing anyway, but they were so good. When I was growing up, I used to watch these dances and I was like, oh my gosh, these girls are insane. And now, like, yeah, we're just all friends and it's so good to be a part of that.
totally. So, kind of speaking of like the next generation and generations coming up behind us, what do you want, I guess first of all, your own future in dancing to look like, but also like the global future of dancing to look like?
I think everyone needs to stop being so in your face with everything. Like we all should get along. We all should be happy with everyone's result, whatever result anyone gets. Just be. It's a competition. I remember there was a competition that I did and I didn't do well, and one of the parents came up to me and he said, "There's an Irish dancing fesh around the corner. I don't know why you're stressing." And I was like, you know what? That is so true. And like you see people around the world like who would love to do Irish dancing, but they don't have the opportunity to do it. And you just count yourself so lucky to do it. And some people take that for granted, I reckon. So I think we should all get along and yeah, be happy for one another.
Yeah. And just kind of s- I guess take a step back and gain some perspective and go, you know, this is it's great to have these things that we work towards and that are,
Yeah.
that make it feel like there's something at stake. I don't think there's anything wrong with like feeling a little bit of pressure or
Yeah.
um,
Oh,
you
so
know,
good.
demanding a lot of yourself to explore like what is your potential. I think there's so much good in that, but I think you're right. Just have a little perspective and go, there is probably another dancing competition around the
Yeah.
corner, right? And do it because you love it. And
Yeah. And I find like you need to, I always say this, I'm so lucky to have parents who are so supportive and they've never forced me to do anything. Let's just say that like if you want to do the competition you can do it. They were never like drilling me. Let's just say like they were never like go outside and practice. I mean they were because I put in the effort because I was like I want to do well. But the parents need to, I feel like some parents need to lay back and let the child love Irish dancing, not be so first. You need to do it because you love it. And that's what I really found out when I was in high school during that difficult time. I was like, you know what? I love Irish dancing. There's nothing else more. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, that if you think of Irish dancing in the first thing in the morning, you love it. So
yeah. Don't make it a job, make it your
yeah,
passion.
yeah,
What
that's it.
Make it what gets you out of bed in the morning and
Yeah,
yeah, lights
Yeah,
your,
then it becomes a privilege, right? And
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
gift to be in this situation where you can compete and be in this like intense
Yeah.
environment. It's a privilege to have found your thing that you love to do every day and all of
Yeah.
that. And I think, yeah, like we're all saying, competition is wonderful and great and fun to participate in and strive for. But at the end of the day, what we love is Irish
It's
dance. Like
dancing.
it's
That's
really
it.
stressful to be at a
Yeah.
competition.
It is so. And I'm
All
like,
of those moments aren't great,
yeah.
but we
And
just like the dancing.
I was about to walk on for my horn pipe, and it's such a different level between show dancing and competitive dancing. So when I was about to do my horn pipe, I was like, oh, this is not a good feeling. I don't like the feeling of being so nervous before I go on stage. And the difference between going on stage with Lord of the Dance is like such a like, oh my gosh, I'm going on stage, but doing my horn pipe, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about everything, feet placement and everything. Like, it's just such a different level, but I do love it.
that's interesting. So, do you think that you'll be able to carry that feeling with you a little bit more going back into competition after? Like, do you think there's a way to do that?
I try to. I always get so because I just take so much. I put so much effort into this sport, and I want to do well, and I want to make my teachers and my family proud, and whatever the result is, I don't care. But I just want to be able to walk away from that competition thinking I did the best 3 rounds that I could have done. And yeah, I try and listen to music before I go on stage, and like try and think of like the corrections, and I just think of myself smiling on stage and enjoying every second.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's inspiring to think about like going on stage with a show and just well, maybe there's an element of like you can just think about going on stage and putting on a show because
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
what
it. I
you're
don't know,
good
it's
at,
so
and,
different.
you know?
Like with Lord, you're using your arms and everything, like especially the freestyle competition. I was not nervous at all. I was like, I'm so excited to use like everything, like my facial expressions, my arms and everything. But it's such a different level, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just so different, I find. I mean, you probably have a experience with Riverdance doing the Riverdance Summer School Mackenzie, but I just find it so. Oh my gosh, I'm going on stage, but I do get that rush when I'm on doing the competitive side of things. But yeah, there's such a big difference in both.
Yeah. I think it would be a cool thing to explore. Like, how do you bring elements of the show
Yeah,
stuff, that feeling into competition? I think that would be really cool. But
yeah, I think
I
it's hard, but
think so too.
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's nothing, I've never been more nervous than
yeah.
being on stage for my set at the Worlds. Like, there
Oh,
just
really?
is
Yeah.
no.
And I just, it's so bad. Like when we're older, we're gonna have like heart problems because my heart, when I'm about to go on stage, is like going. I'm like, what is going on? Like, yeah.
Yeah, no. Well,
So, Vaughn, what do you think in like your more near future of dancing? Do you want to spend more time on the competition scene or like more time touring, or is it just kind of a bit of both right now? I feel
Well,
like
it's
it's
so
hard in
hard
your
to
20s
decide
to
because
know.
everyone tells me that you have to choose both, but I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm not done in the competitive side, and I think I'm ready to start the show side. So it's a bit of a hard mix, but I definitely am not done competing because I do love it. So yeah, I
well,
definitely yeah.
I think that's great news for all of us because that means we get to watch you and enjoy you
Thank you.
at competition and in shows, and we're just
Thank you.
excited to see where things go next for you. But
Uh,
thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. It's
Thank you
been
for having me. It was so
great
cool.
with you. Yeah, awesome. Well, we can't wait to see where you go next.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us in this episode of the New View podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
If you have any ideas about future guests we should interview or want to connect, you can find us on Instagram at newview.collective or email us at newviewcollective.mm@gmail.com.